So I'm waiting for my Zoom to catch up, and then we'll get started. So just take a moment. As you lie there on your backs, I invite you, if you want to, just to start off with your right hand on your belly and your left hand on the top. If you don't need to do this, if you're happy, just have your arms by your sides. And we'll just for a moment, just let the body settle. Just take a moment. And before we do anything else, we're going to take 3 lion's breaths just to start the process of balancing ourselves emotionally. So when you're ready, deep, full inhale. Open the mouth, stick the tongue down to your chin and force all the air out. And then repeat. Last one, try and hold slightly longer. And just let your breath return back to its natural rhythm. As you lie there, try and think about relaxing the forehead, the area around the eyes. Give that bottom jaw a little waggle. Open the mouth, release any tension in the jaw. And then when you're happy, just bring the lips back together, place the tip of the tongue into the roof of the mouth and just let that bottom jaw hang. Just take a moment to scan yourself from the top of your head down to your toes. This may feel a bit different as we normally do this seated. So picture that photocopier line or bar scanner line systematically working its way through you, looking for any areas that feel good, any areas that feel different or clunky or tight. We're not here to judge ourselves, as always. Just be honest with yourself. Try not to pay lip service to it. And as you carry on with your 3-part breath, sorry, not your 3-part, your scan, just start to sum up to yourself and how you're feeling emotionally. Honest with yourself. Hopefully you're all feeling great, but if you are feeling a little bit tired, got midweek blues, and just be honest and accept that. And hopefully by the end of our practice, you'll feel a little bit more balanced and grounded. Once you finish the scans, just come into observing your natural breath. Try not to deepen the breath, just be curious. And if you've still got your hands on your tummy and your chest, think about what parts of the body are moving to use this inhale and exhale. So we're not changing the pattern at this stage, we're just letting the body do its thing. Be curious to see what the depth's like of the breath, if it's shallow or deep, what the rhythm's like, if there is any rhythm. Is the breath smooth? There's no right or wrong to this. Just use the breath to help anchor you in the present. Try and keep the eyes closed if you're able to, or keep a soft gaze. Not focusing on anything specifically. If the mind does wander off, and it will at some stage, just gently bring it back as many times as you need. Still observing those natural inhales and exhales. In a moment, we're going to start the breath control. So I invite you now all to fully exhale as quickly as you can. Sorry, I'm just having to let someone else in. That's bad timing. So just let your breath return. And now if I invite you all again to let your breath exhale as quickly as you can. And then you're going to inhale the bottom third. Hold. Inhale the mid third. Hold. Inhale fully the top third. And hold. Exhale the top third. And hold. Exhale the mid third. And hold. Exhale the bottom third. And hold. Inhale the bottom third. Hold. Inhale the mid third. Hold. Inhale the top third. And hold. Exhale the top third and hold. Exhale the mid third and hold. Exhale the bottom third and hold. Inhale the bottom third. Hold. Inhale the mid third and hold. Inhale the top third and hold. Exhale the top third and hold. Exhale the mid third and hold. Exhale the bottom third and hold. Inhale the bottom third. Hold. Inhale the mid third. Hold. Inhale the top third and hold. Exhale the top third and hold. Exhale the mid third and hold. Exhale the bottom third and hold. Last round. Inhale the bottom third. Hold. Inhale the mid third and hold. Inhale the top third and hold. Exhale the top third and hold. Exhale the mid third and hold. Exhale the bottom third and hold. Now just let the breath return back to its natural rhythm. You can place your arms down by your sides if you had them in position. Again, just observe the natural ebbs and flows of your inhales and your exhales. Try not to alter the pattern, but again, be curious, see if there's a difference from when we started the practice. If you need to, rescan the body if your mind starts to wander. Again, listening to see your body, to see if there's any difference, not just in the physical state, but also the emotional and mental. If there's no difference at all, that's okay. Just use these simple techniques to keep you present. If the mind wanders, gently bring it back as many times as you need. And then when you're ready, invite to start coming into your yogic breath, your 3-part breath, using exactly the same technique, but in a more deliberate manner. So fully inhale, bellies, chest expanding. And then on the exhale, draw the bellies in and up, engaging the pelvic floor, and then release all the air out and repeat. Focus again on those bellies ballooning, the side ribs expanding, the chest expanding as you fully inhale. And then on the exhale, release the air from the top of the chest. The side ribs go back in and you draw the belly in and up, engaging the pelvic floor. Utilize your full lung capacity with every breath. As you continue with this 3-part breath, as you will through your practice, on the next inhale, just reach the arms above the head, stretch out with the fingertips and the toes in the opposite directions, splay the fingers and the toes. And then when you're ready, on the next exhale, draw the knees to the chest. Head to the knees and squeeze yourself into a tight little ball. Keep holding, keep breathing. If it feels good, you can rock from side to side. And when you're ready, on the next inhale, just release the legs down, extend them out. Bring your arms into cactus arms. And then from here, we're going to come into an elongated lateral twist. So we're going to stack the left hip on top of the right, pointing the left foot to the bottom right-hand corner of the mat, and stretch up and away with the left hand and arm into the top left-hand corner. So you're going to basically stretching out on an elongated twist. Really think about stacking the hips. Breathe deeply into that twist. And on the next inhale, slowly recover yourself back onto your back. And then we'll build the opposite side, stacking the right hip on top of the left, pointing the right foot to the bottom left-hand corner of the mat, and stretch up with the right arm and hand through the top right-hand corner of the mat. Breathe into that elongated, stretchy twist. And on the next inhale, slowly come back onto your back. Once you're there, we're just going to keep or draw the heels towards the buttocks, bring the arms down by the sides, your palms facing down, so your knees are pointing up, and just bring the knees together if you can, and then gently start to windscreen wipe the legs, rocking the knees from side to side, looking over the opposite shoulders to the legs. Just ease yourself into it, slow and deliberate, still working the breath. And then I'll meet you back in the center. So if you've got problems with your lower back, I'd recommend you keep your feet on the deck. Otherwise, I invite you to raise the feet off the deck so your shins are parallel to the floor, feet pointing up towards the ceiling and your knees together. We're going to basically mirror or take a slight advancement on the windscreen wiping with the legs. So with the next exhale, we're going to lower the knees down to the right, looking over the left-hand shoulder. Control it. If your lower back doesn't like it, then keep the feet on the deck. Then on the next inhale, bring the knees back to the center. Before you exhale, lower your knees to the opposite side, looking over the opposite shoulder. And then I invite you to continue this in your own flow. Just gently windscreen wiping the legs from side to side, either with your feet on the deck or your legs off. Be slow and deliberate as you ease your lower back into this. Try and keep the knees together. I'll then meet you back at the center. Once you're there, just lower the feet down, keep the knees pointing up so that you can then cross the legs, letting the knees fold out to the side, draw the heels towards the buttocks. Bring the arms down by the sides of the torso so your palms are facing down. And once you're set, on the next inhale, you're going to roll the spine up, lifting the hips up to the ceiling. Press evenly out of all your points of contact and breathe into those hip flexors. Squeeze the buttocks, keep lifting the hips high. And on the next exhale, slowly lower the buttocks back down. Once there, take a note of which way you've bound your legs or you crossed your legs. Extend the legs away and come back in the opposite way. Again, with the knees folded out to the side, draw the heels towards the buttocks. And when you're ready, on the next inhale, roll the spine up, lifting the hips up. Breathe into those hip flexors, squeeze the buttocks, try and get the hips as high as you can and hold them there. And then on the next exhale, slowly lower the buttocks down. Once they're down, you start to bring yourself up by drawing the elbows underneath the torso. Then use the hands and arms to push yourself up into a cross-legged posture. Sit nice and tall. If your legs don't like, one leg doesn't like being crossed, just extend that leg. Or have both legs extended. Just have your hands on your knees, lengthen the spine. And then when you're ready on the exhale, forward fold. Using the weight of the head and the long spine, you're going to start to spiral out. So you end up drawing a large circle with the head. Try not to use the arms. The face and jaw relaxed. Keep the seat bones grounded. Breathe into it as you gently mobilize that body. Think about deepening your inhales and make those exhales twice as long as your inhales. And then go back the opposite way. If you need to start small and spiral out again, that's fine. Compare the directions. Try and keep the eyes closed, the face and jaw relaxed. And then I'll meet you back at the center of the tall spine. Once there, on the next exhale, we're going to come into a seated cat. Chin to the chest, shoulder blades apart, arch the spine back, draw the bellies in. Then on the next inhale, come into a seated cow, puffing the belly and chest out, chin to the ceiling, shoulder blades together, fully inhale. On the next exhale, come back into your seated cat. Inhale back to your seated cow. Exhale back to your seated cat. Inhale back to a seated cow. Exhale back to a seated cat. Inhale back to a seated cow. And then on the next exhale, just let the spine return back to its tall posture. From there, just place the hands down behind you, extend the legs forward enough so you can have your knees pointing up. I'm just going to take a few little windscreen wiper movements. Keep a long spine, bends in the elbows. And the next time the legs come over to the right-hand side, we're going to keep them there. We're going to put our legs into 90 degrees or mermaid legs. Think about bringing the shoulders over the torso. Lengthen yourself out as if you're being pulled from the crown towards the ceiling. Keeping the bottom half where it is. On the next exhale, walk your hands around to the right. Look over the right shoulder. Keep a tall spine and breathe into that twist. Keep working the breath. And on the next inhale, just bring yourself back halfway round so you end up facing over your right thigh. We're going to come into deer pose. So we're going to extend the left leg back. Think about having the right shin as parallel to the front of the mat as you can, with the right foot facing up to protect the knee. If you want to soften this like you do in pigeon, you just bring the heel towards you. Otherwise, just lengthen the spine, turn the shoulders and the torso and the hips to the front of the mat. That may be enough for you. Maybe getting that stretch in your right buttock and thigh. If you have the range, you can exhale, forward folding, lowering yourself over the thigh. Try and square off the hips and the shoulders as you hold this. Deepen the inhales and lengthen the exhales. Then on your next inhale, bring yourself back up onto your hands. Once you're there, you're going to roll back onto your buttocks, draw the soles of the feet together. We're going to do a butterfly variant. So draw the heels towards you, place the hands down behind you. Just shuffle the hips a little closer to the heels if you need. And then if it feels good, you're going to start to flap the wings of your butterfly. Lengthen the spine, draw the shoulders down the back. Keep micro bends in those elbows and just breathe into any areas that need it. Go firm with the knees, and then when you're happy, draw the knees down evenly to get that consistent stretch in the groin. If it feels good, puff the chest out, hang the head off the back. If it doesn't, then just keep the head stacked. Try and have an even stretch in both sides of your hips. If it means that you need to make sure, we'll have a look at your knees, you haven't got one knee higher than the other. Just level them out, draw them down evenly. And on the next inhale, slowly draw the knees together and extend the legs forward. So if you want to, you're welcome to bring the buttocks out of the way so you get the seat bones grounded. Bend the knees, have the feet pointing up towards the ceiling, and we're going to have the hands on the deck either side of the legs. Just on the next inhale, lengthen the spine, and exhale, walk yourself forward over the thighs. If you're feeling really tight, then just keep the knees bent with the feet pointing up. Or if you feel that you've got some extra range with every exhale, just slowly lengthen out the spine, lowering yourself down. Use those arms on either side of the legs to help prevent the legs from rolling out to the sides. Keep holding and breathing. Try and relax the arms and shoulders. This is as much about your torso as it is about your hamstrings. It doesn't matter how low you get. This isn't about being flexible. This isn't about being good. So if you are feeling really tight, it's okay. Just focus on your body, connect to your breath, and try and create a bit of space for you, both mentally, emotionally, and physically. Then on the next inhale, lengthen the spine, coming halfway up. Before you exhale, walk yourself back up with your hands. Once there, you're just going to take the legs over to the left-hand side. We're going to start to build the mermaid legs, or legs at 90 degrees. Bring the shoulders over the torso, lengthen the spine. And once you're set, keeping the bottom half where it is, you're going to exhale, walk the hands around to the left, looking over the left shoulder. Lengthen out the spine as if you're being pulled from the crown as you breathe into that twist. Deepen the inhales and lengthen the exhales. On the next inhale, just bring yourself back round so you end up facing us, looking over your left leg. You're going to extend the right leg back so we can build our deer pose. Again, if you need to soften it, you can bring the left heel towards you. Otherwise, try and have that left shin as parallel to the front of the mat as you can. Foot facing forwards. And when you're happy, lengthen the spine, turn the shoulders and the hips as best you can towards the front of the mat. That may be enough on this side. If you have the range, just exhale, lower yourself down, lowering yourself over that left thigh, and then hold and breathe. Don't force yourself into it. So even if you did manage to lower yourself on the other side, don't assume you will be able to do it on this side. Deepen the inhales And lengthen those exhales. On the next inhale, come back up onto your hands if you went down low. And from there, engage the core and just sweep the left knee underneath you so you can come into a tabletop in the center of your mat. Splay the fingers, grip into the mat, tuck your toes, and on the next exhale, push back into a downward dog. Just take a moment, push out of the front end, lift the hips high, and feel free to walk it. If you're feeling really tight, then bend the knees as much as you need. Splay the fingers, gripping into the mat to protect the wrists. Think about sliding the shoulder blades down the outside of the ribs. You turn the forearms inwards towards each other, helping to spiral them. Keep working the breath. And then when you've had enough, on the next exhale, you're going to step, jump, or walk your way to the front of your mat, ending up in a forward fold. If you're feeling really tight today, you're very welcome to rest your forearms onto your thighs, making sure you don't press into the knees. Or you can place your hands on a block or on the deck with your knees bent, or just come into ragdoll. Wherever you end up, try and relax the spine, the neck, and the shoulders, and work the breath. Be kind to those hamstrings. If you're feeling tight, it's okay. Just accept. Try and soften any areas of tightness by breathing deeply into them. And with every exhale, release that tightness bit by bit with every exhale. I invite you to engage the core, place the hands onto the hips, place the chin onto the chest. So in a moment, we're going to roll the spine up. But before we go anywhere, I want you to start picturing in your mind's eye the spine with all the separate vertebrae. So in a moment, you're going to engage the core. And then with the knees bent, you're going to inhale, draw the hips underneath, keep the chin on the chest, and stack the spine one vertebra at a time. Be slow. Don't rush it. Keep the chin on the chest until eventually the shoulders stack. And that's when you release the neck, stacking the neck and the head. And once you're upright, just release the hands to the sides. We're going to come into a sun salutation. So on the next inhale, sweep the arms up, big full inhale. And then exhale, forward fold. Take the whole exhale to come down. On the next inhale, come halfway up and lengthen the spine, long flat back. And then exhale, lower the hands down. On the next inhale, step, jump, or walk your way back into high plank. Bring the shoulders over the wrists, splay the fingers, grip into the mat, and hold for a breath. If you need to, drop your knees. Otherwise, on the next exhale, slowly lower yourself down under control. Take the whole exhale. And then on the next inhale, come into your back bend of choice. Long spine, elbows tucked in, engage the tops of the feet into the mat. Be kind to your back. And then on the next exhale, push back into downward dog. Once you're there, feel free to walk it. If you need to use your knees to transition in and out of downward dog, that's fine. And then when you're ready on the next exhale, we're going to step, jump, or walk our way to the front of our mats. Once we're there, we're going to end up in a forward fold. Then on the next inhale, come halfway up again, lengthen the spine, long flat back. Before you exhale, release the hands down. Engage the core. On the next inhale, sweep the arms up, reaching nice and high. Then exhale, release the hands to the sides. We'll go again with a slight variance. We're going to inhale the arms up. Then on the exhale, we're going to sit down into chair pose. Bring the hands into prayer posture this time. Draw the shoulders back. Press the palms together. Tuck the tails. Evenly distribute the weight. Make sure you're not taking it all through the heels. Then on the next exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come halfway up. Lengthen the spine. Then on the next exhale, lower the hands back down. Stack the weight through the left foot as you inhale the right leg up. Let the head hang down. Try not to open the right hip. Square off the hips with the deck. Keep that right leg as engaged as you can. And then on the next exhale, you're going to step back with the right leg. Step far enough back to get nicely stacked. Left knee over left ankle. If you're not in the right place, to shuffle the foot forward. Engage the core, long spine. On the next inhale, sweep the arms up for high crescent lunge. Sink into it. Press the right hip forward. If you need to drop the right knee, that's fine. Try and engage the right leg if it's staying up high. Then on the next exhale, slowly lower the hands down. Take the whole exhale. Then on the inhale, sweep the left leg back, high plank, hold for a breath, bring the shoulders over the wrists. Drop the knees if you need. Otherwise, exhale, slowly lower yourself down. And then inhale to your back bend of choice. Before you exhale, push back into downward dog. Once again, hold for a breath or a couple of breaths. Walk it if you need. And then when you're ready on the next exhale, step, jump or walk your way to the front of your mat, ending up in a forward fold. Inhale, come halfway up, lengthen the spine. And exhale, release the hands back down. Engage the core on the next inhale, sweep the arms up, reaching nice and high. Before you exhale, release the hands to the sides. We'll go again. Inhale the arms up. On the exhale, sit down into your chair pose with your prayer posture hands. Draw the shoulders back, press the palms together, tuck the tails. Make sure the knees aren't over the toes. Sit back into it or stay up high. Then on the next exhale, forward fold. On the next inhale, come halfway up, lengthen the spine. Then exhale, release the hands down. Stack the weight onto the right foot as you inhale the left leg up. Try and square off the hips. So the left hip particularly hasn't opened. Let the head hang down. Keep that left leg engaged. And then on the next exhale, step back with the left leg. Make sure you're nicely stacked at the front before we go anywhere else. Engage the core, long spine. On the next inhale, sweep the arms up. Draw the arms back into the shoulders, sink into it. Press the left hip forward. If you need to drop the left knee to the deck, that's fine. And on the next exhale, slowly lower the hands down. And on the next inhale, sweep the right leg back, high plank. Hold for a breath. Bring the shoulders over the wrists. Drop the knees if you need. Otherwise, exhale, slowly lower yourself down under control. Inhale to your back bend of choice. And exhale, push back into downward dog. Just take a moment, check your setup. Lift the hips high, slide the shoulder blades down the outside of the ribs. Bend the knees if you need. Work the heels down towards the deck. And if it feels good, on the next inhale, raise the left leg coming into scorpion tail. Try and stack the left hip on top of the right. Push out the left arm. If it's too much, you can do three-legged dog or stay in downward dog, your choice. Then when you're ready on the next exhale, slowly bring the left knee down and through. Squeeze the knee up into the chest, kiss the knee, press out of the hands for a tiger curl. Before you then inhale, push back out to your scorpion tail or equivalent. Then on the next exhale, slowly bring the left knee down and through, squeeze the knee up into the chest, try and kiss the knee, press out of both hands. But this time we're going to step forward with the left foot. So you're nicely stacked. Make sure the foot's in the right place before you go anywhere else. You're then going to engage the core, long spine, and on the next inhale, windmill the right hand up and back. Just to set yourself, make sure you're nicely stacked with your knee and your ankle, your heel, sorry, is pointing to the back arch. Shoulders over the hips, and we're going to sink into warrior two. Adjust your gait if you need to go wider, look through the front index finger. Make sure that knee's nicely stacked to the front. Then on the next exhale, come into humble warrior. Sweep both arms behind you, interlace the fingers, bow over the front thigh. Slight bend in the elbows. Engage the core. And on the next inhale, release the hands. Place the right hand down behind you, come into reverse warrior. Bring the left arm over the top. Look down at the back foot or the top hand. Still lean into that front leg. If you want to take that alternative bind with the back arm, then do. Engage the core. And then on the next exhale, push out the front leg, pivoting forwards, coming to triangle pose. Start by having the left hand below the knee, with the right arm reaching up high. Think about the hips and the shoulders. Make sure the left hip stacks under the right, the left shoulder stacks under the right. That may be enough for you. If you have the range, you can slide further down without the buttocks going out to the side, and you can bring the right arm over the top while still staying nicely stacked on the hips and the shoulders. Modify as you need. Engage the core. And on the next inhale, come back into warrior two. So windmill the arms back up, lean into that front leg. Make sure we haven't crept forward with the shoulders, bring the shoulders back over the hips. And on the next exhale, windmill the right hand forward, ending up over the bent left leg. Once there, you're going to inhale the left leg back, high plank, hold for a breath. Bring the shoulders over the wrists, drop the knees if you need. Then exhale, slowly lower yourself down under control. Inhale to your back bend of choice. Before you exhale, push back into downward dog. Just take a moment, evenly distribute the weight. Splay the fingers, grip into the mat, let the head hang free. And when you're set, inhale the right leg up for scorpion tail. Modify as you need as you do the other side, either three-legged dog or stay down in downward dog. Make sure that right arm's playing its equal part. Then on the next exhale, slowly bring the right knee down and through. Squeeze the right knee up into the chest. Try and kiss the knees. You press out of the hands, arching the spine. Then inhale, push back out to your scorpion tail or equivalent. Then on the next exhale, slowly bring that right knee down and through again. Squeeze the knee up into the chest, press out of the hands. And then this time, step forward with the right foot. Make sure nicely stacked before we go anywhere else. Engage the core, long spine. And then when you're ready, on the next inhale, windmill the left hand up and back. Just set yourself to sink into your warrior two. Make sure the gate's wide enough. Knees stacked, heel pointing to the back arch, shoulders over the hips. Sink into that front leg, look through the front index finger. Engage the core. On the next exhale, sweep both hands behind you, humble warrior. Interlace the fingers, bow over the front thigh. Keep the core locked down. Engage the core. And on the next inhale, release the hands and come into reverse warrior. Stay in that bent front leg. Lower the left hand down, bring the right arm over the top, stretch up with the top arm. Engage the core. And on the next exhale, push out of the front leg, pivoting forwards, coming into your triangle pose. Start with the right hand just below the knee, left arm above you, stack the shoulders and the hips. And then if you have the range, slide further down the leg. And if you can, bring the left arm over the top, whether looking down at the front foot or at the top hand, whichever works for you. Engage the core. Then on the next inhale, bring yourself back into warrior two. Sink into that bent front leg. Make sure you haven't crept forward with the shoulders. Bring the shoulders back over the hips. Look through the front index finger. Then on the next exhale, windmill the left hand forward, ending up over the bent right leg. This time we're going to walk our hands around the left, coming into a wide-legged forward fold. So before we go down properly, just adjust your gait, toes pointed in slightly. Lengthen the spine, engage the core and place the hands onto the fleshy parts of your hip flexors, so your thighs, and then draw those thighs back as you exhale, pivoting forwards, and then release the hands down and come into a wide-legged forward fold. So you can either have the hands underneath you or in between the feet, fingers facing backwards, or you can come into ragdoll. Modify as you need this evening. Listen to your body, try and release the head and neck. Just release the hands down, and on the next inhale, place the hands down to your front, lengthening the spine, coming halfway up. Evenly distribute the weight. Then on the next inhale, reach up with the right hand. Look to see where it's gone. Now think about your left hip. If you dropped the left hip, raise the left hip up so you're squaring the hips off of the deck, making this more about the twist rather than your hip range. Look up still over the right shoulder and take the back of the the right hand and place it onto the left hip, drawing the right shoulder open. Keep looking up to the ceiling. Think about the left hip. Make sure it hasn't dropped down again. Breathe into that twist. And on the next exhale, slowly return the right hand down. And then inhale the left arm up. Look to see where the hand's gone. Now think about your right hip. If you've dropped that right hip, raise it up. And then giving a long spine, take the back of the left hand, place it onto the right hip. Draw the left shoulder open. Keep raising that right hip. Evenly distribute the weight. Keep looking up to the ceiling so your neck's involved in that long spinal twist. And on the next exhale, release the left hand down. Once there, turn the feet out to 45 degrees. Or if you were actually probably better off leaving where they are actually. So we're just going to exhale, lower our head and shoulders down, going back into a wide-legged forward fold. If that's enough for you, stay there. Then on the next inhale, take the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers, draw the arms up and over the top. Keep micro bends in the elbows, let the head and shoulders release down. If it's too much, keep the hands on the deck, keep the core engaged. Then on the next inhale with a long spine, keeping the arms where they are, bring your torso all the way up. If you start to feel dizzy, then just go back down or drop a knee. Once upright, draw the shoulders down the back, tilt the head back, keep micro bends in the knees, breathing into the front of your chest. Then on the next exhale, lower the left ear down to the left shoulder. Keep drawing the shoulders down, keep the tails tucked, breathe into the right hand side of the neck. Inhale the head back to the center, and then exhale, take the right ear to the right shoulder, drawing those arms down. And on the next inhale, release the hands, return the head back to the center, interlace the fingers, palms away, chin to the chest, long spine, tails tucked, bends of the knees, even though your legs are wide, and breathe into those shoulders. And on the next inhale, raise the arms up, reach up nice and high with the palms of the hands towards the ceiling. If that's too much, then just release the hands and go palm to palm. Draw the arms back into the shoulders, slight micro bends in the elbows. And then on the next inhale, release the hands, bring the arms into cactus arms. Splay the fingers, palms facing forwards. And as you hold the arms, turn the heels underneath you, adjust your gait, and we're going to come into goddess. So start up high, tuck the tails, and then sink down into it with your cactus arms. So think about the ankles being underneath the knees, tuck the tail underneath. So what we're trying to prevent is your butt sticking out the back. Start high, draw the tails underneath, and then hold, engage the buttocks. Draw the shoulders back, evenly distribute that weight. And on the next exhale, with a tall spine, we're going to exhale, take the right elbow down to the right thigh. Inhale back to the center, still holding the goddess legs. Exhale, left elbow to left thigh. Inhale back to the center. Exhale, right elbow to right thigh. Inhale back to the center. Exhale, left elbow to left thigh. Inhale back to the center. Keep holding, sink down into it. Then on the next inhale, raise the right heel. If it's starting to build, just focus on the breath. Exhale, lower the right heel. Inhale the left heel up. Relax the face and jaw. And then exhale, lower the left heel down. On the next inhale, come off both heels. If you can, gather the balance. Relax the face and jaw and deepen the breath. If you need to take a lion's breath, then do. Tails tucked. Then on the next inhale, push out of the legs, reach up with the arms for 5-pointed star. Keep holding, up on the balls of the feet, you're off the heels. Then exhale, sink back down into your goddess. Tuck the tails, draw the shoulders back, nicely stacked. On the next exhale, take the right elbow to the right thigh. Inhale back to the center. Exhale, left elbow to left thigh. Well done, you've got this. Inhale back to the center. And then we're going to reduce some of what we're doing before. We're going to inhale both heels off the deck. Come back up onto the balls of the feet. Good, well done. Breathe into it. Inhale, push out of the legs, reach up, 5-pointed star, still on the balls of your feet. Then on the exhale, lower the heels down and the arms to the sides. Well done. Just toe heel your way back into the center. So your legs are underneath you. Have your legs or your feet hip width apart. We're then going to inhale the arms up above the head. Stretch up, come out of the balls of the feet. So we're on our tippy toes. Draw the arms back into the shoulders. Try and fight the balance, ground the big toes, find a point that won't move or drifty. Then try and keep the hips facing forward so they don't open. And on the next inhale, we're going to twist to the left. Large circle with the arms, look to the left, keep on the balls of your feet. If you fall out of it, it's fine. Inhale back to the center, fight the balance, slow and controlled. Try not to open the hips before you exhale, twist to the right. Inhale back to the center, reach up high, push out of the balls of the feet. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale back to the center, got one more side to do. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale back to the center, reach up, try and go even higher, still on the balls of your feet. Then exhale, lower the arms and heels down. So if you're not at the head of your mat, as I wasn't, just come to the head of your mat. And from there, we're going to inhale ourselves off the balls, the heels, sorry, out to the balls of the feet. The arms are going to go to our front, fight the balance. So you might feel at different balance points. Feet are hip width apart. And then on the exhale, we're going to sit down into it. Sit back into it so the knees then go over the toes. Try and be on the balls of your feet. And we're going to go down as deep as we can. Keep sitting back. Try not to let the knees flare. Keep the core engaged as you inhale yourself back all the way up. Arms still shoulder height. And we're going to go back down. Exhale, sit back into it. Tuck the tails. Keep on the balls of the feet if you can. If you can't, that's fine. Drop the heels. But we're going to go all the way to the deck and end up on our bottom. So if you can, you're going to lower yourself all the way down. If you do the last little bit ungraciously like I did, that's fine. Once you're down, just recover yourself into the center of your mat. We're going to do staff pose now. So if you want to, just pull the buttocks out of the way. Feet hip width apart, knees bent if your legs are tight, feet pointing up to the ceiling. But this is more about the torso now. So we're going to try and have the arms underneath the shoulders. So we're not going to use the arms to press ourselves out. They're there for sort of last resort, if you will. So I want to imagine you're being pulled from the crown. We want that long spine. So we naturally will slouch if we're left you here. So we're going to elongate the spine, bring the arms underneath us, shoulders drawn back. And we're going to hold this for 10 breaths. So we're trying to create an L shape. So initially you might go, this is easy, but you might find that actually you get tired quite quickly in the torso and you want to start that slouch. Prevent it, reach up. If you really have to press out of the palms of the hands, out of the deck, then do, but try and keep the hands off the deck and use the torso. Breathe into it as you lengthen the spine, really reach up, think large L. Keep holding and breathing. Good, keep holding, 5 more breaths. Stretch up that long spine. Almost there, keep the shoulders drawn back. And then just slowly relax yourself down. Probably find yourself instantly wanting to slouch like that. Just come into a cross-legged posture. Again, if you're comfortable to do that, if your knees are okay with it, then do. Sit tall. And from here, on the next exhale, take the right hand to the outside of the left leg. Inhale the left arm up to lengthen the spine. Then exhale, slowly twist. Place the left hand down behind you. Sit tall, look over the left shoulder, gently lever with the right arm. So think about the neck and head. Make sure that they're also stacked in the center of the pelvis. You haven't let the chin drop or it's not too high. Breathe into that twist. Gently lever with the right arm. Elongate the spine. And on the next inhale, slowly come back to the center. And exhale, take the left hand to the outside of the right leg. Inhale the right arm up to lengthen the spine. Then exhale, slowly twist. Place the right hand down behind you. Sit tall, look over the right shoulder, gently lever and breathe into it. On the next inhale, slowly come back to the center. Once here, we're going to just lower ourselves down onto our back. So if you have a block or a cushion to hand, then keep it handy. If you don't have either of those, we can improvise. So just walk the heels towards your buttocks. We're going to just going to lift the hips up so we can place the block, if you have one, or your cushion underneath you to have the elevated feet. We're going to do supported legs up the wall. If you have neither of those, you can roll the end of the mat up. So you have a roll that's underneath your pelvis, or failing that, you can use the palms underneath. So palms facing down, hands flat, And whatever you're using, on the next exhale, draw the knees to the chest, and then inhale, extend the legs up. So you want to feel as though you can hold your legs up there unsupported. So even with the flats of your hands underneath your pelvis, it will help. If you do have the block, you're very welcome to use it. Just to modify as you need. For every other posture outside of the one where you've got your hands under the pelvis, just tuck the shoulder blades and have the palms facing down. In a moment, we're going to do 4, 7, and 8 breath. So I'm going to ask you to inhale fully to my count of 4, hold that inhale to my count of 7, and then fully exhale to my count of 8. So inhale 4, hold 7, exhale 8. I invite you now all to exhale as quickly as you can. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last round. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just let your breath return back to its natural rhythm. I invite you to raise the arms up to join the legs, and then we're going to rotate the wrists and ankles in any direction. Let the blood drain back in, not just from the legs, but now the arms into the core. Go back the opposite way with the wrists and ankles. And then when you're ready, on the next exhale, draw the knees to the chest. Just remove any items from underneath your pelvis. And still with the core engaged, just lower your arms and legs down into your Shavasana or corpse pose, the relaxation phase. So once you're down, feel free to put your warm kit on or an eye pillow. And then when you're ready, just tuck the shoulder blades underneath, palms facing up, hips, knees and ankles relaxed and rolled out. Just allow your body to melt into the floor. If it feels good, invite you to take a lion's breath just to get rid of any excess energy. Once you're in position, try and keep the eyes closed, the face and jaw relaxed. I invite you to imagine we've been doing our practice high up in the mountains this evening. Warm sun on your face. Cooling breeze, just fluttering colourful prayer flags around you. You look across the other side of the mountain range at the snow-peaked mountain tops, still silhouetted by crystal blue skies. Sun occasionally glinting off the snow, very thin, faint clouds or mist swirling around the peaks. Your attention's caught by a beautiful bird of prey soaring high above, effortlessly hopping between thermals. If your mind starts to wander, focus on the bird of prey. I invite you to start drawing your awareness back to the present. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Reach your arms above your head and stretch out. When you're ready, I invite you to draw the knees to the chest, the head to the knees, and squeeze yourself into a tight little ball. Hold that ball for as long as feels good. And then when you've had enough, release the ball and just roll onto your side and take a moment. When you're ready, I invite you to make your way into a seated posture of choice. Keep your eyes closed and just thank yourselves for giving this time back to you. If it feels good, I invite you to take a deep inhalation, fully inflating the lungs. And then with an open mouth and a sigh, release any last tension you may still be holding. I invite you to place your left hand onto heart center with your right hand on top. Keeping your eyes closed, I invite you to say the following affirmation to yourself. I love my body. I love my imperfections. I love myself. For purity of heart, for purity of speech, and for purity of mind, the light in me sees and salutes the light in you. Namaste. Please take your time. Thank you for joining me this evening. It's lovely to see you all. I hope you all have a lovely evening and the rest of your week. Just meet you all.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming, everyone.